Hey darling, do you ever catch yourself thinking, gosh, if only I had the right upbringing, if only I had the right examples and guidance to follow as I was growing up, I would be so much further ahead in my life. If only someone had taught me how to be confident, how to take action on my dreams and my desires, how to dream big, how to love myself, how to love my life, I would be a happy person. Well, here's the truth. You and I, we were born with absolutely everything. Every skill, every ounce of confidence, every ability to lead, command, take action, to create the life of our dreams. What happened was that as we were growing up and we were observing the behaviors of people around us, be it in our family, in our community, in the society, we conditioned ourselves to essentially forget about our power, and through that we were rejecting ourselves in the many parts that we did. And it might be a hard truth to swallow at first, but it was us, you and I, who did that to ourselves. We conditioned ourselves to layer other people's expectations, fears, desires upon our natural and authentic state. I myself remember a moment in my childhood very, very vividly when my mom was absolutely devastated. She was crying. She had just read a letter that my father, who left me and my mom pretty early on, left for me, and she was still heartbroken. I could really sense the depth of her pain, and loving my mom so deeply as well, all I wanted to do is take away that pain, to soothe her, I wanted to tell her that because my father left so early, I really didn't have any ability to comprehend what it means to have a father. So I never was in a place where I felt that I was missing anything. I was just a happy kid. But when I said that to her, it didn't land. She was so consumed by her sadness that she really didn't hear me. And I remember that in that moment, as a child, and not knowing how to deal with the discord between what I was observing and what kind of played in my heart and in my mind and in my body, I decided to take on her pain in hope that I would lessen her sadness and that I would sort of unite with her, show her that we are a family, that we are strong, that we are one, and that we are powerful. But what happened was that from that moment onwards, I became a sad kid. I let that story of an abandoned child, of someone who was rejected, really become my story, my identity, and it really colored and filtered any decision that I had made onwards from then on. And while I totally believe that it is absolutely unnecessary to spend years in therapy, reading endless self-help books, attending workshops and seminars, retreats, however long and however costly, in order to have a beautiful, fulfilling life. But when we do have stories that go on repeat and we know that something is stalling our progress, I like to honor myself by looking into these stories and liberating myself from them. It's not to beat myself with them, but to see love in them, to see the truth coming out. And if you are like me and you have got some past anchored stories that you really want to get rid of and release yourself from their weight and their meaning, I encourage you to watch and follow this video, because I'm going to show you how to do it in literally seconds. Because here's the real kicker. Transformation is instant. It doesn't take years, it doesn't take months or weeks or days. It is instant in the moment. This is what I've experienced, and I hope that you will too. The shift that you are trying to establish, the shift that you crave so much for, it happens in the moment. The reality that we perceive is actually consisting of frames. If you know perhaps film photography, you'll know how your film strip looks like. It's consisting of shots. And if you were to stand on a corner of a street and photograph every 5 minutes, even every second, even click by a click by a click by a click by a click, the frames will be different. None of the frames will be repeated. And what happens within our bodies when we look, when we perceive, when we hear, when we smell, when we touch, when we discover the world through our senses, is that we are creating a motion picture out of these frames. And it happens so easily, effortlessly, and seemingly that we fool ourselves that there's a continuation. But in fact, every single moment is different. And there's a power in that, because we can decide in the moment how we want to perceive the reality, and we can change it every moment. We can change it now and now and now and now and now. The continuation is something that we create within ourselves. It's not actually there. And this is where your power comes in, because you can make a decision that you want to see something different, that you want to liberate yourself, that you want to free yourself from the weight of the past, that you want to free yourself from the burdens of circumstances, any conditioning that you yourself put on yourself. You can decide that in the moment. You can decide, from now on, I want to love myself. From now on, I see myself as a successful being. From now on, I am a successful being. From now on, I get to be the woman of my dreams. From now on, I am the person who has got a healthy, loving relationship with food. From now on, I am the person who doesn't see perfection as something that I have to fight, but I find authenticity in my strive for better, for more. I see myself as someone who has always been loved. I see myself as someone who was never abandoned but was actually believed in and seen in my power. And that's why I was maybe left alone. You can really choose whatever you want, however you want to see anything. And the moment that you decide, you've shifted a frame. The moment that you decide that, you've moved into a completely new image, if you will, that then springs another and another and another image from that. That is the real spiritual transformation. It's understanding that you are never broken and there's nothing to fix about you. Absolutely nothing. Liberation is really dropping off the weight of the lies and the stories that you've been telling yourself. It's the most natural thing on under the sun. It's a relief and it's a release from the lies and the conditioning by looking into the truth of who you have always been. Sometimes we decide something, but the next time the opportunity arises, and it happens very quickly usually, we are faced with our old emotions that are really a response to our thoughts. Here's the key. Here's the secret that you can really use in those moments to let go, completely let go in the moment, and those thoughts will no longer never bother you. They might still be there, but they will just not bother you. They will just be passing you by like a breeze. You'll be like, yeah, I can see it, I can feel it, but let it go. Your thoughts, and actually absolutely everything that you observe, everything within and out with, as a result. I gave it to you. This is the secret. Everything that you are aware of is a result. Nothing is a source. Now, when I learned this truth and I put it in practice just once, my whole world changed. My whole world changed. I was no longer a victim to the thoughts that I had going on repeat in my head. I found internal peace that was followed by the level of confidence that I'm still sort of putting myself in and trying on and expanding through. The joy that I'm feeling right now is immeasurable, and I've been waiting for it for such a long time, for many, many years, but I never knew how to get there. And it wasn't until I heard that message and put it in practice that I felt that relief and I felt that release. And I would love for you to experience that if you also think that yes, but there are those thoughts. Yes, but there are those emotions. Yes, but these stories. And I feel you. I know how personal these stories and these thoughts are. I know. They touch you to the core of you. And you feel like the only way out is just out. But I want you to see them as an opportunity. We ourselves create the opponents. The villains, so to say, for ourselves. And the stronger the opponent, that's a sign of our strength. So the more powerful these thoughts come at you and appear in your mind, the more powerful you actually are. Because the enemy, the opponent, is someone who is always lesser than you, and they use all their force in order to match you at your level, to meet you at your level and go beyond that. But they never can. They never can. That's why they keep coming in, and they come in stronger. But you're already higher. You're already stronger than they are. And when you realize that, when you accept that for yourself, that this might be the truth, the next time that your thoughts come in, you'll be like, okay. They're going to come in stronger, and you'll be like, okay. They might say something like, you will never be happy again. And you're like, okay. You'll never meet anybody again. Okay. You will never conquer that illness. Okay. It's only going to get worse from now on. And you're like, okay. And let me tell you, this is going to change your life. And it happens like this. You don't need to wait for the transformation that you're looking for. You don't need to wait for the liberation. It's yours for the taking. And those thoughts that, tell you that you haven't got a skill for this, or you haven't got a skill for that, or you weren't born with it, that no one gave you the understanding of how to use even maybe your talents that you can recognize that you have. Well, let me tell you this. I used to think that because I didn't have a father, I was lacking this masculine energy, that I was imbalanced, that I was overly feminine, soft, and that I didn't know how to take action on my desires. I didn't know how to make money. I didn't know how to be confident in community. But then I realized something. I was like, wait a minute. So for the last whatever many years, and it's been a long time, I have been relentlessly asking very difficult questions of myself and actually finding answers to them. I have been day after day after day after day looking into transforming myself, looking into understanding myself more as a human so that I can also understand other people more. Now, all of these things show my initiative, they show my drive, they show my hunger for more and more and more and more. And when I made that connection the struggle in those areas that I thought that I was missing that skill, it just evaporated. It just vanished. It just disappeared. And I want you to ask yourself, what is that one skill? Start with one. What is that one skill that you think that you are lacking in an area of your life where you're struggling? And then I want you to look into the areas of your life where you are engaging in something that brings you joy, that is of interest to you. And I want you to see and recognize that that skill that you think that you're missing is actually present within you and has been there all along, patiently, quietly waiting for you to recognize it, for you to start embodying it in all that you do, in every area of your life. Listen, if you wanted to learn to play saxophone tomorrow, you wouldn't cry about your mom and dad not being musicians. You would get a sax and start playing. That's it. Simple. A skill is a skill. It's up for the taking. You want it, you learn it, no problem. But if you find that what you do with yourself is that you place worthiness on your ability to do absolutely everything that is available in life, then you're always gonna fall short. No doubt, no doubt. The key here is to make connection between what it is that you actually want and where you can see that it's actually happening. And it doesn't take years, it doesn't take months, it doesn't take weeks. The realization comes in the moment, and it's instant, it's in seconds. And the relief and the release is immeasurable. The liberation that happens when we strive for the truth instead of some lies that we have conditioned ourselves to believe in opens up the worlds that we never even thought that existed. So darling, if this video has helped you, I would love for you to leave a comment. I would love for you to put it down in the comment section below, or make a statement in your journal. I want you to take a moment to decide something for yourself. One thing. You don't need to go all in. You can, and I do encourage that, but you can start wherever you are, because that's where you are. You're nowhere else than where you are. Seems so obvious, but sometimes the obvious things are really hard to spot. So let me remind you, you are where you are, and it is absolutely perfect. From here, you can get to anywhere you want. In fact, it's going to come to you. I want you to decide. I now decide that I am the person who. I now decide to love myself or be successful, see myself as a successful person. I now decide to be the man that I've always wanted to be. I now decide to be the parent that I have always envisioned that I would be. Make a statement. Decide something for yourself and let it be, and let it be decided, and let the universe show you the proof of that, because the proof is there. The proof already exists. You don't need to create it. And the more proof that you see, the more proof that you allow yourself to accept for yourself, the quicker you'll be able to effortlessly embody that new decision of yourself. And it's going to come in the ways that are going to really delight and surprise you. An example of that is that when I decided to love my body, I actually recognized that the mirror that I see myself in every single day, it's a full-length mirror in my bedroom, it was actually sitting at a slant. At a slant? Yeah, I think so. It was, under an angle to the wall. And I kind of remember that when I'm in the changing rooms in shops, I look kind of different, but I'm always thinking like, well, there's something, there's some kind of a tint in the window, in the mirrors that they put there, or something funky is going on. And it's not a real mirror, of course, because I'm not beautiful, right? I'm not anything to look at. But when I decided to love myself, all these little things started popping up, all these little, realizations and understandings. And one of them was that when I put the mirror straight, I saw a different person. Suddenly, the things that I thought were too big were normal, were actually nice, were actually beautiful, because I had a distorted image of myself. And I want you to recognize and observe where your distortion is happening. And you might be still asking yourself, okay, but that's going to take time. There's going to be layers and layers and layers. I want my liberation in an instant. It actually happens when you decide. That's why you then get to see the proof and the proof and the proof and the proof. But the transformation happens when you decide. That's it. That's it. You decide that it's done. It's done. From then on, it's just more proof and more proof and more proof and more proof and more proof. And one proof is not bigger than the other. They're equal. There's just more and more and more. It's an expansion of proof that your decision, whatever you decided is true for you. And the more you go into finding the truth, not following some other people's ideas of a lifestyle, of what it means to be elegant, or what it means to be rich, or what it means to be wealthy, or it's beige. It's really beige. Make the wealth of yourself your own. Find out what makes you happy, excited, joyful, inspired, delighted, elated. Find out what it is for you. Ask yourself questions. Use ChatGPT to help you find that out. There's so many wonderful tools right now available to us at our fingertips. It's never been easier to really love yourself and love life. Never been easier. And so allow yourself to make it easy. Allow yourself to make it fun. Allow yourself to see yourself as the queen and the king that you freaking are. Because my darling, absolutely everything is nothing without you and your attention to it. It is all made up. It is all made up. You make it up. Make it up good. On this chessboard, it is always your turn. And for now, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!